I'm quite excited about this one. I have done horse riding in the past, but horses and archery together. Oof! Go on. I want to do it. Where do I sign up? Let's go. Welcome to a different kind of archery podcast. We're all about the real stories, practical tips, and the shared passion for this timeless sport. Join us for insightful conversations with archers, experts, and enthusiasts from all walks of life. From hitting the golds to the pursuit of personal growth through archery, we've got it all. So get ready to knock your arrow and take aim at a world of archery knowledge. This is Unstrung Archery. Hello and welcome to another episode of Unstrung Archery with me, Neil Hickman.
Joined by me, Nye, and here to cause some more chaos. And to help us do so, we are joined by Lauran from Valkyrie Mounted Archery, and John Goodwin from Usk Valley Raiders. And these guys are here today to talk to us about the world of horseback archery. So, obviously, something that's really cool, but not necessarily something that Neil or myself will have come across as target archers.
I'm going to say, I'm quite excited about this one. I have done horse riding in the past, but, horses and archery together. Oof! Go on. I want to do it. Where do I sign up? Let's go.
We'll get to that part, but having trained alongside John, it's something totally different to what you and me are used to, mate. So
I can imagine.
Without further ado, obviously, we'll get straight to the guys. So, first of all, I actually asked John and Lauran if they wouldn't mind doing a quick introduction to say who they are and a bit of what they do as well.
Hello, I'm Lauran. I'm from Valkyrie Mounted Archery. I have been doing horseback archery for about 4.5 years now, and coaching for, I think it's just under 2 now. I started over with a club. I actually went there on a date day, a medieval experience day, and then accidentally came across the Horseback Archery Club, and then we ended up joining in starting our horseback archery career there, and then obviously I went on to do a coach. I really enjoy coaching people. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much, and I really like making new resources and promoting the sport and encouraging it, and just making it a bit more accessible for everyone.
Fantastic. I mean, maybe people that we hear going on starting archery, just going down to the local range and picking up a bow and having a have-a-go session, and you actually went on a date. That is brilliant. I love it.
Yes.
Hi, my name's John. I'm not as exciting as going on any dates. I discovered it when I wanted to do something after I'd retired. And so I went to a place, did it, got hooked, and I've been doing it for, somebody pointed out today, 10 years.
Wow.
I'm not the most proficient horse archer in the world, but I do coach, and I am a judge, and I judge internationally as well. So it's very much a case of them as can do, them as can't judge other people doing it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm a judge.
I've been trained alongside you before, John. It's if you're not that good, the other people must be pretty impressive. That's all I can say.
Oh, Lauran certainly is.
You're too kind.
Right. So, obviously, it's something. The way you guys shoot, obviously from horseback, it's going to be something quite different to what Neil and myself are used to. So, would you guys mind telling us a bit about how horse archery works, and then once you told us a bit about how it works, sort of it's like how you shoot differently to us, and how your equipment might differ as well.
So we use typically traditional bows. So you shoot your arrow off your hand. It's quite basic. We don't have anything like weights, shelves, or sights, and it's commonly known as instinctive archery because you almost it's muscle memory. You just kind of have to keep practicing, and then you eventually just start getting it in the right direction.
And there's a range of styles that you can use. Mediterranean, which is what traditional target archery is, off the left hand side. Right hand archers for the left hand side of the bow, 3 fingers on the string. That's perfectly acceptable. Then you've got the thumb draw and the Slavic draw, which put the arrow on the opposite side of the bow. So the reason for that is you can slam it on the bow quickly, you hang on to the arrow on the string, which again breaks every rule that you're ever told in a target archer. Don't touch the arrow. We've got the arrows because the horse is moving and you want contact between the arrow and the bow. You can shoot thumb draw, where you wrap your thumb around the string and all the power is through that single digit. Or you can do a Slavic or Persian draw, where your index finger points down the arrow and 2 fingers underneath the arrow on the string. And those are both shot on the right-hand side of the bow for a right-handed archer, left-hand side of the bow for left-handed. The big difference is that because you're on a different side of the bow, the aim point is incredibly different because the arrows just shoot off at angle.
Yes, definitely.
I always remember the one time John showing me, I can't remember whether it was thumb draw or Slavic draw, where you got me to try and shoot it like I would do standard bear, sort of like Olympic barebow style, and just going about two bosses across and to the left as well. So it's quite an amazing difference between them as well. And no, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it something like when you're competing, you guys have to shoot at insane speeds as well?
Yes. Yes, it's a bit hectic.
Quick draw.
Yeah.
It depends if you have a slow horse or a fast horse. Obviously, if you have a slower horse, then you can shoot faster. But if you have a fast horse, you might only get enough time to shoot 1 arrow. So it really depends on the horse.
And the tracks have a par time, which you need to shoot. You need to do the course under that par time. And so the speed of shooting. We reckon to release... The top guys can release 12 arrows in 20 seconds. The really top guys, Lauran and I, maybe not quite so many.
No, definitely not.
I could do 6 in 20.
I still remember one time doing a bit of head-to-head with John, and we were talking about sort of the accuracy of Olympic recurve versus the rate of fire you guys have. And I took 3 arrows, and John just battered me from pillar to post. The rate of fire you guys have is just so insanely good. But obviously there you talk about having the difference in horses. So obviously it's for you guys, I'd imagine it's a combination of 2 sports. You've obviously got your riding capacity and your archery skill. So just what's it like? How important is the horsemanship in it for you guys?
So I'd say if you're gonna, essentially it's 2 sports that you're putting together, so you kind of want to be able to do one first. It makes it a lot easier if you can do one first before adding them both together, because both of them are quite technical skills. So personally, I come from a riding background, so I've been riding since I was like 6 years old, so it's like second nature to me. So adding the archery, it meant that I could kind of just forget that I was riding and concentrate on the archery side of it. But I mean, the horsemanship side, it depends if you have your own horse, obviously you have to train them, and you've got to train them to be able to do different speeds. If you are on a fast track, you want to be able to go faster, and on a slower track, you want to be able to go slow, and then obviously you want them to stop when you ask. You don't want to end up being on a racetrack with no brakes. So yeah, and I mean, when we ride down the track, we've got no reins, so there has to be a lot of trust there. So there's a lot of building trust between you and your horse, which comes from the training and the time you spend with them. So I mean, if you don't have that horsemanship, let's face it, you're probably going to hit the deck.
Yeah, I've just had flashbacks then, because I used to ride a bit when I was younger around John's neck of woods, and just letting them go in the fields, but the thought of not having hold of the reins was sort of like, whoa, I could, yeah, just imagine them going full throttle.
Yeah, well, I'm actually quite a nervous rider. Actually, I had a fall a couple of years back and ended up on the road. So I'm quite a nervous rider. So I actually find that concentrating on the archery, kind of makes me let go of that anxiety and fear. And it's helped me quite a lot with my confidence around like being back on a horse and that, because you're concentrating so much on hitting on the target that you just forget about everything else that's going on.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like, yeah, 'cause I can imagine your brain's sort of focusing on one activity, the other one just goes back to, yeah, like you say before, it's something that you've always done. It's innate almost. So you go back to, you don't stop thinking about it, stops you thinking and gets you just doing. Is it that sort of?
Yeah, obviously, you can still do it as a beginner, and learn both at the same time. There's places that you can go for that kind of thing, but it is easier if you know one of the sports before you chuck them both together.
I can imagine. I wondered how well I'd fare with how my brain works. It's flitting between everything.
However it works, it'll be short because it's over in 20 seconds.
Well, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Probably 3 seconds from when I hit the deck.
I agree with Lauran, except that I came from the other angle. I'm an archer who's learning to ride. Far too late in life, I have to say. I don't think about the shooting but I think about the riding an awful lot. And the really good people can just do both. And when we say really good, we're like world champions and mostly they're French at the moment. But yeah, you watch them and everything is seamless and it's seriously, it's really impressive.
So what kind of speeds do you actually get up to? In horsey speeds, as opposed to...
I don't know about speed, because it really depends on what type of horse you're riding. I mean, if you're on a thoroughbred, then obviously you're going mega fast. But if you're on like a tubby little cob, then it's a bit slower paced. But generally for the tracks, you don't want to be going faster than 8 seconds on a 90-meter track, because otherwise it doesn't benefit you in terms of points or speed points.
You wanting to score highly on the archery and also for the speed as well, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you breaking into a gallop? Are you in a canter? What, for the horsey people out there might understand that a little bit better than
start off
distance-wise.
You can do a walk, a trot. Most competitions are in canter. You can gallop, but as Lauran says, if you gallop really quickly, you might not have enough time to release more than 1 or 2 arrows. And at the bottom line, the speed points are limited. You can't keep going faster and faster and faster. So you do rely on the target points. Okay,
so both of you have represented BHAA for Great Britain. Can you tell us about how the competitions work? Are they any different to what we'd expect as target archers?
Competitions, domestic and international, usually include a number of what we call tracks. That's a run with a certain number of targets spaced out at various points, depending on the track. Each track has par time, and the final score is a combination of how much under the par time is a bonus, over the par time is a negative generally, plus all your target points. The straight tracks are run over 90 metres. Generally, but there are some variations. Typically you do 6 runs. Again, there's some minor variations, but typically it's 6 runs for that. Those are the straight tracks. There's some different arrangements of targets, but I don't think we need to go in that much detail. There's the fun run is the hunt track, which is akin to a field archery course on steroids, because you go round across a course, maximum 1,500 metres with targets placed upon a winding course. You shoot backwards, you shoot forwards. There's a couple you even shoot up. and there's a part-time for that. And again, that's the true test of horsemanship and shooting ability. And what you also get a lot more now are untracked, unfenced tracks. So you have to guide the horse. So you're guiding the horse, hands off, shoot, 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 guide the horse again, changes of pace. It's really challenging. It's the one that most horse archers love the most, because it's those of you who've done field archery, getting to the targets is a lot quicker than in field archery.
I don't know if you guys have seen Brave, but when Merida rides her horse Angus through the forest and shoots the target, that's essentially a hunt track. And she's jumping the log and that. So if any of the viewers have watched Brave, it's like that.
So real life Brave.
Yes, real life
really want
Brave.
to go.
Oh, that does sound. I have to say, listening to John describe it sounded super cool. Lauren, that bit about real life Braves just completely sold it.
Yeah.
Are there any sort of ones that you guys have been to that you've found to be like a favourite track and things, or a favourite comp that you've been to?
I like going to Gaucho in France, which at the moment, French, I think they've got 3 of the top 4 in the world. One French guy holds the record for the tower, and Alain, the coach there, is absolutely amazing. So I like going to Gaucho. And we're all going in October?
September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you're welcome to join if you want.
I think I'm on TO tournament organizer duty in September, unfortunately. Otherwise, it'd be coming up. I'd be pestering John. Oh, Neil, we'll have to send you out, mate.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. I honestly, I'd be really interested. I used to ride when I was younger, not for very long, and quite frankly, I wasn't that good at it. I can remember the horse I was on, we were doing a lesson where we had to take, do horse control and take your feet out the stirrups, and I took my feet out the stirrups and the horse decided to sidestep. And all I remember is waking up with the horse looking down at me as if to say, "What are you doing down there?"
Let's rule
So, yes.
Keep the horse between you and the ground.
Yes, it's a really good advice. I highly recommend it. Okay, so moving on. Obviously, I'm extremely intrigued by this sport, and I'm assuming that we're going to get a couple of listeners that are going to be intrigued by this sport as well. How can we get into a horseback archery? Is there any resources you'd recommend? Perhaps if one of our guests has written an introductory book by any chance?
So first of all, I'll talk you through what a lesson would be, and then I'll tell you where you can go to learn about it. So in a typical lesson, especially if you go in there for the first time, it's very much horse-led, because obviously it's really important to get the horse ready for horseback archery. So, if you've got a horse that's totally okay with everything, obviously we can speed through things. If you've got a horse that's maybe a bit more sensitive, a bit more excitable, then we would slow the steps down and break it down into smaller sections. So it's very much horse-led, because they're the most important. They're not tools. They're our partners. So it's very much about them. So we would cover everything on the ground first. So you would come in with your horse on foot. We would go through introducing them to the bow, the arrows, the sounds they make, the sounds of the arrows hitting the target. And then we would repeat everything again, but with the person in the saddle. So we'd go through absolutely everything again. So again, you're breaking it down into small steps. And then once that they're okay with all those things, you would then start getting closer to them with firing arrows. So personally, I go on the ground and I would keep increasing my distance to the horse while firing at the target. I would then probably rest my elbow on the rider so that the horse can feel the tension of my elbow when I release the string. And then I would give the rider the bow, and then we would start. And baby steps. So basically I would tell them to do the most pathetic shot they've ever done in their life for their first one. So we're talking pulling the string maybe like an inch or something. And then you would just increase the draw each time until, you're at full draw. We would do this at a standstill first, and then we would go into walk. And then again, depending on the horse, I've had some people that have gone straight up to canter in the first lesson, and I've had some people that have had to stay at walk. So again, it's very much horse led. Don't be expecting to turn up to a lesson and go straight to gallop straight away. It really depends on your horse. So you can learn at places like Knights of Middle England, the Centre of Horseback Combat, and New Leaf Triangle. So these places all offer pre-trained horses, and they also offer experience days. So you can go for different levels. So you can go as a complete beginner, or us guys can go down there and just practice without having to worry about, controlling the horses or that kind of thing. There's also coaches and clubs all over the UK. You can find these by joining a Facebook group called Horseback Archery UK. I have made a map of every single horseback archery club and coach in the UK with phone numbers that you can contact. So you can pop on there and have a look, and it's got everyone's contact details. And as you showed earlier, I've published a book. So this is a beginner's guide to horseback archery. I basically wrote it because I was finding I wasn't having enough time in lessons to tell my students about everything that they needed to know, because when they come along they want to do horseback archery. They don't want to sit and go into the nitty-gritty of all that kind of stuff. So I created it because I wanted them to be able to go back and read things over and that kind of thing. So it tells you everything you need to know as a beginner horseback archer, from horse care to equipment to shooting style. It's suitable for ages 8+. I have also just released a kids horseback archery activity book, which is suitable for ages 6+. So this is designed to encourage kids to practice at home, but it goes through things like range safety, how to string your bow, what kind of things you want to look out for in terms of health and safety with your horse, your equipment, how to look after it. So basically everything you would want a student to know before they started practicing at home. Obviously you would go over this in lessons, but it's good for them to do it at home. And there's loads of fun activities in there, exercises, little competitions that they can do that encourage them to have a bit of independence and practice at home, rather than just stick into their coach sessions, because obviously you can only get so far in a coach session. You want your students to go away and practice so that you can do more and get on with more stuff. So you can find these on my website, which is www.valkyriemountedarchery.co.uk.
And I've obviously, Lauren's book was actually my Christmas present to myself this year. And when I've been reading through it, what I've found is I like how it's pitched. Everything's very clear and concise, and it's sort of very. I found it really accessible as well. It's sort of, you're not for someone who's ridden before and all, but not for a long time, and not to the level of you guys, but also as an archer. I'm reading through it and I'm finding that it's kept me engaged all the way through as well, but without being. It's sort of really accessible to everyone, I'd say, as well. So yeah, it's definitely well worth a read. And one thing I've noticed, especially from what you've been doing, Lauren, I've seen on your Instagram, has been some awards that you've been doing, because for Neil and myself, and probably you've done some of this probably with us when we've been training at the shop, John, we have things like the 252 badges. So that's hitting 3 dozen arrows at whatever distance, and you've got to get an average of a red if you're a recurve archer. And that's sort of the way we monitor progress and things. Do you guys what sort of things would you guys have as incentives to keep engaging your archers?
Well, we got the ground ones and the horseback ones. So the ground archery, Lauren's done some fantastic work with grassroots, bringing people up, and her Valkyrie awards are brilliant. There are other awards. The BHAA have ground awards based. I don't know what they're based on, but it's the same sort of thing. You go through the system, trying to get a series of points. I think ours is 110, and the parameters change. So the distance you're shooting, speed reduces, the size of the target is small. So the top one of those ground archery ones requires a score of 110 on a 40 centimeter target with each end of only 20 seconds. So that's an average of 18 an end, and it's a challenge. It will be doable, but it's a challenge. And then,
Also,
sorry, go on.
oh, no, I was just going to say we should also point out that whereas we would score maybe 10 through to 1, you guys are 5 through to 1 as well, so it makes it. It's not like you can go up and get a couple of 10s and be all the way there. You've got to score well on each arrow.
Yeah, for most of ours, and we do a version of the Portsmouth, but for most of ours, it's 5 through to 1, and that's what we score mainly out on the tracks. And then for the horseback, we do test walk and trot, which are accessible to everybody, followed by what they call student grades, which are along a track, but they have to be done at a canter, but they're not timed. So you just get your target scores. And then the horse arch grades, which are the pinnacle, and they're done on target points and times. So there's a really nice progression through the whole sport. So you can have an event and somebody can be doing a walk trot event and somebody else can be charging up and down like Genghis Khan, but it's still all part of the same thing.
I like it, yeah. So everyone it's one where you can go in and still be in competition with yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, very nice. I do like the sound of that as well. And you always say going up and down like Genghis Khan. It always reminds me of the old slogan that if anyone can, Genghis can.
Lauren, I have this most Saturdays. It's.
Yeah. And it's about the 50th time John's heard me crack that joke as well.
So yeah, I've got gradings that I started. Basically, I got some I teach the most amount of kids in the UK at the minute. I think I've got 25 students under the age of 16 at the minute. So I've got the largest group. So I was just getting feedback from them that some of the gradings were a little bit hard, or they were struggling with the technicality of them. So I created the Valkyrie grading system so that it was a bit easier and more based on fun than anything else. Just, again, to encourage practice at home, competing against yourself, that kind of thing. And then I've also started bringing out postals for each month. Again, just a bit of fun. Just, I think the postal I've got up at the minute, they've got to hop on one leg, then hop on the other leg, then they've got to squat and shoot, and then they've got to jump. So it's just about creating a bit of fun. So it's not, just shooting arrows at the target day in, day out. Just, introducing that fun side of it to keep them interested in the sport and enjoying it, which is what we want. That's the main focus, that they enjoy it and they continue to do it.
Definitely, because it's the thing. That's the thing. It's sort of, as long as the enjoyment's there, people keep coming back as well.
Yeah.
And so when you say your Valkyrie gradings, what sort of things would you do for those?
So they are based before the BHAA gradings. So a lot of my students were finding the BHAA gradings a little bit too difficult because they were originally created for adults. So basically, your first grading would essentially be I can't remember exactly what it is, but it would be, you would shoot 6 targets at, say, a distance of 5 meters. And and then you would take your target points from that, write them down. If you achieved, I think it's 100. If you achieved 100 points, then you get that grade. And then the next one, we implement a time frame to it. And then in the next level, we would take the time frame away, but they would have to increase the distance. So it basically sets them up so that by the time they get to level 8, then they are ready to start the BHAA gradings.
I like it. That sounds really good. That to give, and it keeps them engaged all the way through, rather than feeling like, oh no, I'm falling short of the adult grades as well.
Yeah, and they get a fantastic certificate in 10.
Is
Sorry.
this something you use with your students, or is this something that's generally accepted across the country?
So anyone can do it, and you don't even have to be a horseback archer. The gradings are ground gradings, so anybody can do them. I am planning on bringing some out for the horse side of it. I just haven't got around to it, but you get a cool certificate, and you get little shiny pin badges that you can collect. You have to start at level 1 and then do level 1, 2, 3. But the levels have got cool names like Warrior and Elite and Legend and Master and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun, and to encourage people. And everybody likes a shiny pin, so
yeah.
One thing that always motivates me, even now, and I'm 31 now, and it still motivates me.
Yeah, love me badge collection. So I just want to say a big thank you for sharing your insights into the world of horseback archery. I'm really itching to have a go now. Is there any final words that you'd like to add for our listeners before we wrap up the episode?
If anyone would like to try horseback archery, then obviously get yourself to a beginner taster session. But also I have got some awesome summer camps planned with Western riding, ground archery, horseback archery, balance training, lots of fun and games. I don't know if you have seen that Jenga archery game. We're going to give that a try. See how that goes. Sure. So I've got lots of summer camps that people can come along to, and it's camping, barbecuing, and just archery full stop, like just non-stop archery from morning till night. So you're welcome to come join.
That does sound cool. That does sound like a plan. That, and I need to spend a bit more time in Scotland as well.
Yes, and hopefully it'll be warm.
Oh, fingers crossed, definitely. Oh, and is there anything you'd like to say, John, before we go on to the quick fire rounds?
It's wonderful, but far too exciting for me. I would just say, if you do want to go, have a go, then I train in Warwick at Knights Middle England. They're brilliant for beginners and anyone else. But one thing I would say is, don't try this at home without supervision or preparation. You can't leap on any old horse with a Olympic recurve and think it'll work. But basically, go to see Lauran. She's good.
Yeah. Lauran, go to a like with anything archery related. Go to a pro. Go to learn from a pro before you try it at home.
Yeah, just put me a message on WhatsApp, and I can talk you through what you need to do to get started if you haven't got a coach local to you.
And yeah, it's honestly, guys, I'm probably gonna embarrass John by saying this part as well, but what you guys do is super cool. I actually learned from John.
John was my coach, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't think John realises how cool he is as well with all this, with his horse archery stuff.
Yeah.
She is brilliant, and I'm not saying that because she was one of my students, but she's really good.
You both. Both of you are brilliant. Because obviously I've not met Lauran, but I've seen your stuff on the social media on the regular, and training with John as well. Watching you guys in action is incredible. Because I know the time it takes me to get any sort of proficiency with recurve, never mind actual high level stuff like you do.
I've just thought of another question, and I'm sorry to drop this on you. But I'm really intrigued because when I've seen like horse archery in the past and people doing it, there is a little bit of a dress code going on. Is this something that you guys do, or is it turn up and shoot in what you're wearing?
So in the UK, we're a bit boring. So you can dress up traditional. But in the UK, we don't really have any traditional wear. So people tend to wear sports clothing, like, a polo top, jumpers. However, my theory is, we come from pagans and Vikings. So, if we ever have a traditional competition, I intend to rock up full Viking gear and just own it.
Yeah. Okay. So
John,
when I come and see you for this Have a Go session, I'm coming up full Robin Hood. You realise that, don't you?
Yes, 100%.
talking about Vikings though. We need to go to John here. Actually,
I have done it in my Viking gear.
Yeah.
It's bloody awful, but yeah, it's as Lauran says, there's no tradition in this country. But you go to Turkey or further west, or go to Mongolia, and the clothing is amazing. But we don't have anything. But I agree with Lauran. We were all Vikings once, so let's do it.
I would be game for that as well.
Okay, that's sorted now. That's what we're doing. We're all dressing up as Vikings and going trying horse archery.
I will make you aware that we have themed lessons as well. So when it's Halloween, come on, we get students coming in full like dragons and everything. So
I just come dressed as myself for Halloween. That seems to scare people normally.
I'm gonna say that's scary enough. Time for our quickfire round now. This is something that we started more towards the end of season 1. It seems to be quite popular, so let's get straight into it. Favorite snack after a shoot?
Oh, chocolate, 100%. Any type of chocolate, just chocolate.
McDonald's.
Nice. One thing you'd never leave home without on a competition day?
Boots.
Hat.
Or stirrups.
I would say they're pretty important. Coolest thing about being a horseback archer?
Telling people about it.
I couldn't agree more. It's the wonderment on their face when you tell them that you've got no reins and you're cantering and galloping.
Yeah.
Just the look on people's faces when I tell them what you guys do as well.
Yeah. So we're going to change this question up from what we normally would. Normally we'd ask if your bow could talk. However, we're going to ask if your horse could talk. What would it say about you?
Probably that I'm an idiot, to be honest. She's quite a character.
I think whenever I turn up, mine has a look of, oh God, it's him again. But we love each other.
Funniest thing that's happened at a competition?
Falling out my trailer in the morning in front of all my students.
I don't think anything funny's happened to me at a competition. I've fallen off a few times, which you come back laughing. So, falling off.
There we go. Dream place to shoot archery?
Oh, Mongolia, I think.
Oh, I had a feeling you were going to say that. It definitely has its roots in Mongolia.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly enough, I've shot in South Africa with Daniel Griffin, and that was a dream. So South Africa.
Yeah, it's really cool, to be fair.
South Africa.
Okay, and the one that kind of gets weird looks, and this is definitely one of Nye's questions. He must have thought this one up. Would you rather shoot 100 arrows at a giant marshmallow or 10 at a moving target? Which is quite difficult considering you are moving.
Ooh. Marshmallow. Did you eat it afterwards?
Yes.
Yes.
10 at a moving target.
Depends who the moving target is.
I was going to say, you guys are moving.
Speak of this question, the moving targets, John.
I wouldn't shoot at John. John's too nice.
Yeah, he is too nice.
That is not nice.
You two are ruining me image.
You 100% can't do this in the UK. It's against every health and safety thing out there. And to be honest, you'd be an idiot to do it. But in Mongolia, they strap targets to someone's back and they gallop in front, and then people shoot at that person. And it looks absolutely awesome, but you definitely couldn't do it in this country. Not a chance.
We are not condoning that behaviour.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. They are definitely a different kind of people.
It's like the stuff they do in Bhutan as well, where they have to shoot it really long distances, but everyone gets right up close, so they're all putting them off, screaming at them, dancing around and everything, putting them off as well. It's just like, I wouldn't want to go that close to someone shooting.
Yeah, definitely not. I've stood next to you on the shooting line, mate.
When was the last time we shot together?
2 years ago, Asherton Novice competition. Which, ironically enough, is where we came up for the idea of this podcast. Okay, so we're going to move on to our recap section of the show. So basically, all I want you to do is have a think about to any competition that's worth mentioning. So the idea behind this is so we promote local competitions to try and get more people on the ground or on horseback, as the case may be, for you guys. Obviously after the lockdown and COVID, the attendance at tournaments was declined, and obviously we want to try and get the names of some of the clubs out there that deserve a bit of love. So if anybody's been to anything recently that they feel like deserves a shout out, now's the time to do it.
So horseback archery is growing in the UK, especially now that I've started and I cover Scotland. So we've now got the Battle at Castle Milk competition, which is now annually. We've got a couple of clubs. So we've got the Northumbrian Mounted Archers and the Lowland Horse Archers. So they are local clubs over at Hexham and Lockerbie that do competitions throughout the year, training throughout the year. And then I go to a couple of set locations for group activities as well, all over Scotland. And then this year, obviously, we've got, which John's part of, we've got the Four Nations coming up to Scotland as well. So we've got lots of things going on, lots of competitions available that weren't previously available. Just check out my Instagram. There's calendars on there. You can see every competition that there possibly could be in Scotland.
I was just having a look at the Battle of Castlemilk competition. I believe that's the 19th and 20th of July this year.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Fabulous. John?
The further south, the British National Championships for horse archery were held in Longridge in Lancashire last year, and I think they're held this year, but I don't have the dates yet. So that's one to look out for. But there is a roving competition called Four Nations. There'll be a competition in Gloucestershire, England. There's one in South Wales with the Usk Valley Raiders, and then there's Lauran in Scotland. The fourth is Ireland, but we haven't got to have a competition there yet, but we're working on it. And as Lauran says, clubs further south do have their own little competitions. But certainly British Nationals is worth a look at, and various other competitions. The Four Nations is a fun one.
If you want to do stuff internationally, if you want to make a little holiday out of it, you've got Gaucho over at France at Alain Legal's. You've got stuff over at Barcelona. You've got stuff in Hungary with Christoph. I'm hoping to go to Christoph's this year. I think it's called the World Cup this year. So I'm hoping to do my first international competition, which I actually have sponsorship for, which is really exciting.
Nice.
So really chuffed about it. It's added a little bit of pressure, but super excited.
Shall we give your sponsors a shout out while we're here?
If you don't mind. So
yeah, go for it.
My sponsors are Castle Milk and Corrie Estates. So they actually rent us the field that I use for most of my camps. So they've been massively supportive since I started Valkyrie Mounted Archery, and then I was looking for sponsorship, and they decided to give me enough to pay for travel, horse hire, accommodation, and the competition. So, you know, I'm extremely grateful, and it's such a massive opportunity.
Sounds brilliant, that. And yeah, just also I can probably speak for Neil as well when we want to say thank you to them as well for getting behind you and sponsoring you for representing everyone on the European stage as well.
Yeah, I can get behind anybody that's willing to get behind promoting archery, whatever kind of archery it is. It doesn't matter if you've got a bow in your hand and you can fling some pointy sticks. You know, if people are willing to support that, and hats off to them, because that's what keeps the sports going.
Yeah, we're like one big massive community of different types of archery, which is absolutely awesome.
So literally, as of time recording this on the 27th of Jan, I just got back from the Keswick 3D Flint shoot that John and myself went to last year. This time, I wasn't participating, but I was in the coaching box. And once again, June surpassed herself and put on a really good event. So that's up at Keswick Archers, obviously. And these guys are well worth a visit to the shoots that they put on. They're always friendly, always welcoming. You're guaranteed a good time. And all worth it just to go and get some soup as well. Yeah, so any shoot that Keswick Archers put on is well worth a visit. Yeah, so now we come to my section of the podcast of Unstrung Unsung, where we give someone out there in the archery world a shout out, someone who doesn't necessarily get the love that you think they deserve, and so now a chance to give them a shout out on the podcast if they choose to listen to us. So, has anyone got anyone that they'd like to mention first and foremost?
I would like to do a shout out to Louise Simmons. So she's a parent of some of my students, and she's just been phenomenal in helping me with everything I do. So I'm dyslexic, so I find writing the magazines and everything quite a challenge with spelling, grammar, and all that. So she proofreads everything for me, and it's just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. That, and like we've said before on this podcast, parents are really important as well. So yeah, so Louise was it?
Louise Simmons.
Yeah.
So she's a parent in the Northumbrian Mounted Archers. She also helps me run that club as well, and basically helps me with everything, basically.
Nice. So yeah, thank you, Louise. Yeah, it's really appreciated that you're helping Lauran out so much as well. And John, is there anyone you'd like to shout?
Yeah, I'm going to nominate Helen Barnes, because she's been involved in horse archery for a while, and she doesn't always get the recognition she deserves. And a big thank you to her for everything she does.
Definitely, she's helped me a lot as well. So yeah, definitely second that.
Yeah, thank you, Helen, for. Yeah, it sounds like I've not come across Helen before, but by the sounds of it, does really important for everything that's going on for you guys as well in horse archery. So yeah, thank you, Helen. Obviously, sticking with the Keswick theme, going to give a shout out to June and Rob from Keswick Archers for everything that they do with the shoots, running the club, and yeah, keeping everything going up there. They make for an amazing day out, an amazing group of guys that they've assembled up there. So thank you to June and Rob. And I believe, John, you've got something else to say as well, mate?
Yeah, I meant everything about Helen for the whole horse archery thing. On a personal note, I want a big shout out to Martin Leonard, who puts up with me being really mediocre lots of times on the ground, and Tanya Guest, who is my riding and horse archery coach at Knights Middle England, who puts up with a lot with me on the horse. But big thank you to them on a personal basis, Helen, for all the work she's done in horse archery.
Can definitely concur with Martin. He has to put, not just you, he has to put with me as well at the same time. And thank you as well to Tanya for looking after John on the horses, keeping him out of trouble.
Yeah.
And
Debatable that one, was it?
The one that
And,
puts me on. Oh, she's brilliant. She is really good.
Okay, so that wraps up this episode. I'm really excited. I think we're going to have to get Nye and I up to one of these somewhere where we can do horse archery and have a go. So you probably
let's go to Lauran. We'll go and bother Lauran sometime when she's free to tolerate us.
Let's go
Yeah,
bug Lauran.
100%.
See if Lionheart can whip us up some Robin Hood themed style shirts for our shirts. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in to do something like that. So maybe make that a goal for this year, Nye, possibly.
I'll come and do the ground recording.
Yeah, what with me hitting the floor?
Yeah, exactly. You've hit 250 quid for the podcast and you've been framed.
That's a rule. That's a rule for horse riding. If you fall off, you have to have it on camera. That's like a massive rule. Like, got to have it on camera so you can laugh about it afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's not on Facebook, it didn't happen, or Instagram, or somewhere.
Oh, I know Nye well enough to know it'll be on Facebook and Instagram instantly.
I'll be live streaming it.
Yeah, probably. So that wraps up this episode. I want to say a big thank you to Lauran and John for coming along and talking about this absolutely fascinating version of our sport. Something different out there for you this episode. So yeah, thank you very much, Lauran and John.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauran and John.
I want to say a big thank you to Nye as well, my fabulous co-host, for terrorizing us throughout every single episode that we record. Obviously, I edited a lot of that out, but you know, it does keep us on our toes and laughing all the way throughout. So thank you very much, Nye. And for everybody else there, our listeners, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Before we sign off, we want to hear from you guys, our amazing listeners. If you have any questions, stories, or insights you'd like to share, we'd love to feature your voice on our next episode. Just hit that recording button on your phone or computer and send your voice clip to us. You could be part of the conversation. Plus, we are building a vibrant archery community on our Discord server. It's the perfect place to connect with fellow archers, share your experiences, and stay updated on all things Unstrung Archery. You'll find the links to both our voice submission platform and our Discord server on our link tree or in the episode description below. Your voice matters and we can't wait to have you join the discussion. Until next time, keep those questions coming and stay safe in your archery journey.